Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
How about if you get a little taste of Landon Dickerson coming right down your throat?
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Don't try it till you've had it. This is episode 86 of the Friends and Rivals podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tom Harkness. Joining me each week are
Stephen Wojciech. Still glad to see that don't try it till you had it is still kicking around.
Bill Fougere, no crickets today.
Nick Larita, just here. My microphone's working, I think.
No, it is
Static crickets.
No static.
Okay.
Thank you for calling the microphone support hotline. I appreciate that. I am back, but Sam Rosen might still be on the moon. Good to see Sam is in mid-season form with this call.
On the forecheck for Anaheim. Rangers move up with it. Zibanejad to Kreider. All the way across Panarin. Comtois checks in. Through to Zibanejad. Pass down low. They score! Frank Vetrano! It's a power play.
That was not last year's playoff goal. That was a goal from this thing. The first goal for the New York Rangers tonight scored by Vincent Trocheck, not Frank Vetrano.
Ooh.
Oh, Sam is in midseason.
Was that Trocheck's first goal as a Ranger? No, okay.
No. Well, it was his first goal at home, but they've been talking about Strong and Vetrano so much in the pregame and in the beginning of the first period that any one of us could have made that mistake.
No.
Did he ever acknowledge? Did he go on to acknowledge? Oh, that wasn't Vetrano. That was.
Yeah, actually, it might be on here.
15 minutes later.
It wasn't that long after. It was like
they cut it. They cut it. He did own up to it. Did I say Vetrano?
Yeah.
You know, one of those.
Did Vetrano wear the same number?
Nope. 16. He wore Strom's number, but oddly enough, when Vetrano scored later on in the first period, he said Vetrano.
Oh, he should have evened things up like a referee. He should have evened it up.
You're right. He should have said Trocheck.
Trocheck.
And then the people at MSG for the replays, they could have just cut both the calls and flip-flopped them.
Yeah, they could have just swapped it out.
Yeah.
But like I said, good to see Sam Rosen is in mid-season form.
Not even a guy on the team. It's
no,
so
he's
bad.
But at least it was a guy that was playing in the game. Does that count?
Yeah, no.
That counts. Oh,
Dementia is fun.
That's like high school level announcing.
I think he's more than high school. He's just old.
Saying somebody's name who's not even on the team? No.
He's just old. And then they've been talking all about it. It's an honest mistake.
Hang him up, Sam.
It happens.
Hang him up. Brendan Burke needs a 15th job.
All right, let's have some fun with spreadsheets. Jesus Christ, Bill. Can you text enough about fucking spreadsheets?
I was having fun, but I went and put this whole spreadsheet together so that all I had to do was copy paste the standings from a particular website and then refresh. And then Nick had to go one up me anyway. So like my 15-second
Holy shit.
15-second refresh, he's got it fully automated.
I don't even think he was trying, but how much like Milton did he just sound?
I believe you have my stapler.
My red stapler. I was told that I could listen to music at a reasonable volume.
Well, I have the I don't have the spreadsheet open. Maybe I should have had the spreadsheet open, but I have the screenshot. Is this still relevant? There was no games yesterday.
There was no games.
Yes, it is no games.
This thing is still relevant. I'm still in last place.
Oh,
I suck. Well, Devils fire Lindy Ruff, and I thought Zegras was injured, but I guess he's not. And I always have the Coyotes to fall back on. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
I
good
picked
plan.
really fucking teams. Maybe I should have wrote it down and actually seen who I was picking, because these are fucking terrible teams. My God.
Well, Steve has incredibly two teams that are combined 0-7 at this point in the season, which I didn't realize was possible already. I guess Columbus and San Jose play each other twice, was it?
They're 0-7?
No, they didn't play each other because
No, I know.
They can't. Yeah, they couldn't have played each other.
Yeah. No. I'm an idiot. I should have realized that. But it's how is it that they're 0-7, 0-3, and 0-4? It was like some teams have only played one game so far.
Because Columbus, one of them played in the overseas, no?
The Sharks. The Sharks lost. The Sharks lost both games to Nashville.
Lost both, right?
Yeah.
Wow, so wild. Well,
Tom, you knew we were not going by golf scoring, right? Where least amount of wins, least amount of points wins.
Listen, the season just started. I'm
just checking.
I'm confident in almost every one of these teams except for Arizona. Almost everyone. But Nick, you're off to a fucking flying start. 27 points already? Good Lord, man.
Yeah. So since the viewer or listeners can't see it, currently I'm in first place, 27 points. Bill is second, tie with Steve for 18 points each. And Tom is coming in last with 14 points. And what we're basing this off of is just the total number of points each team has that we've selected. So we each selected 8 teams, and that's currently we have a running total of all of their points going forward. So that's how we're going.
Just maybe the marketing department will send out the list so the listeners can follow along.
Wow, you said that plural.
Well, wow. I know of at least 2, so I can with confidence say listeners.
Wow, I work with at least 2.
Oh yeah, I work from home.
It's a groundswell. I think that's what they call it.
Oh yeah,
nobody in my home office listens to the show.
You're the only one.
Ryan's on the show.
That's what I said. Well, yeah, Ryan wants to have a segment called Riddles with. I told him no. Get his own damn podcast.
He can try out 1 week, and if we like it, we'll say thank you and goodbye.
We're really gonna put him through all this ridicule?
Yeah,
he's 10.
Good.
He's asking for it.
He's got to learn. He wants to do it. He knows who he's getting involved with.
All right, I will let him know. He's got 1 shot next week. Okay. Billy, can you get a intro song for him?
Oh, he does.
Hell yeah! What's it called? Riddles with Ryan.
Riddles with Ryan.
Riddles with Ryan. I could do
it. Yeah. All right. Let's ride the Metro. Sponsored by Nestle Quick.
Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. 1 sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink, then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
All right, Steve. It's been 2 games. Lindy Ruff's got to go, right?
I appreciate you putting me out of my misery early in the segment.
But yeah, that way you can go slam your head in the door.
I wrote a title for my segment today. You know what the title is? It's rough being the Devils coach.
Oh, Lindy Ruff.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Plan words.
How shitty do you feel getting booed during intros of the season opener? And then during the 3rd period, having to sit through a half full arena screaming, "Fire Lindy." That's got to make you feel like shit, right? Well, it should. Because over the course of 140 games that he's coached, they've lost 78 of them in regulation and another 16 in overtime.
Oof.
Not good.
Wait, Billy, check his math. Is that good?
It is negative goodness.
So especially when the heir apparent is standing right next to you on the bench. You guys, your teams all have assistant coaches, right?
Oh yeah.
Does any of them have an associate coach?
No.
Because that's what Brunette's official title is.
That's like having a podcast with a co-host. Who the fuck does that?
All right. It's everybody knows it's Tom's podcast, and we're all just underlings. It's just been more of the same. The goaltending has been less than spectacular, to say the least. And defensive zone coverage has just been atrocious. Guys coming down, cutting down the center of the ice, completely wide open for passes. Guys putting home rebounds on the crease with no defense near them. Just way too much puck watching in these two games. They got Anaheim tomorrow. We're hoping they can right the ship. Coming off a game against the Rangers, it's always nice to get a team on the second half of back-to-backs, even though it didn't help us too much with the Red Wings. On the plus side, Holtz scored, so it was nice for him to get that first goal off his back. Jack's been looking fantastic with the puck, dancing around everybody, and Brat's got three points on the team's 4 goals. So looking forward to maybe Zetterlund being in the lineup tomorrow, and again, like I said, capitalize on getting Anaheim off of back-to-back games. It looks like the Rangers just scored, or Tom's just found out he won the lottery, again, one or the other.
Mika again from The Office.
That's in Scranton?
That's Wilkes-Barre.
So that's how things are right now. Just really shitty. And looking forward to them bouncing back, because they have to do something productive.
Well, who was in charge of the power play last year?
Recchi.
Well, it's got to be like 10 times better this year, right?
It still seems like the same system. It's, defenseman at the point, Hughes at the point, Hamilton gets him the puck, and he comes in with the puck on his outside offhand. His hand towards the board rather than towards the center of the ice, which I still don't understand.
You hate that.
Holtz's goal was a power play goal, so that was good, but it was on the rush. So, was it a true power play goal where they set him up for it? Not really, but it was a man advantage goal.
So you're saying it wasn't coaching? Well, all right. I'm not gonna.
I think it's too early. I think it's too early for that.
Yeah, I do agree too. That it is a little early,
especially with Heischer having been out for a lion's share of the preseason and him being on power play 1, so they didn't get to work on it.
No, as soon as they fire Lindy Ruff, I'm sure they'll change a lot of things.
They're going to fire him, and then they'll come up with some cohesive lines. Here's another thing: they had Holtz, Palat, and Hughes together all training camp, and then when game 1 happens, he drops Holtz down to the 4th line.
That's what
why.
You did, right?
Why have him be on the first line during training camp if you're going to do that? Doesn't make sense.
But look, I'm blaming your GM on this one. He knew better last year than to bring Ruff back, because you can't go 2 games into the season and already think about firing a coach. If that was the case, he should have been fired last year, and guy come in here for the beginning of
the Brunette signing happened, I think, too late in the offseason for him to take over control from day 1.
Yeah, but even at the end of last season, Fitzgerald said, "Hey, Ruff is our coach for next year." So this one's on your GM too.
If you say so, I don't know. There was nobody else out there that was worth it at the time, so that's what he had to say.
Anybody?
No, there's got to be somebody.
Anybody would have been worth it.
Got to be somebody else worth it before you.
Tortorella was still out there at that time, wasn't he?
Torts was never coaching this team. Never.
Hey, but you got to get creative too. Like you don't want to just go with the same recycled coaches. I mean, you should have somebody maybe in your minor league system that you
Kevin Dineen would have been an option, but again, I don't think he's been a head coach long enough.
Even if it's an interim coach, I think it's still better than what you have in Ruff, and you knew what you had in Ruff.
Yeah, no, nobody wanted him back. in the fan base. That's for sure. Nobody wanted him back, as evident by the fact that he gets booed during intros. That wasn't just off of the Philly game.
As much as I fuck Devils, I didn't want him back for you.
Yeah, no, I believe you said good thing you guys brought him back, if I'm not mistaken. You were reveling in that, if I remember.
Because
correctly.
I knew what a monumentally stupid idea that was.
Yeah.
Well, Devils, you get what you deserve. Good job, Fitz.
Turning it around this week.
Well, maybe you got Anaheim tomorrow night. You got the Islanders
on Thursday.
Yeah,
and then
San Jose
Sharks next Saturday. Yeah,
those definitely are teams. Maybe the Islanders, I don't know, might be a tough guys, but I would agree. It doesn't get easier after that for sure. That. Speaking of the Icelanders, off to a kind of a 50-50 start there.
Yeah, I would say actually, even with the first loss of the year to Florida, it was a really good game. They played really well. Really pushed Florida in the first period, and kind of really kept on the whole game. Ended up being 3-1 with an empty netter, so really a 1-goal game the whole game. Even when the Isles got tied it back up late in the was it early in the third period? I think it was early third period. Panthers scored right afterwards, so it was a very short-lived kind of tie game after that point. But it was scoreless for like half the game. Isles put a lot of pressure on them. Came out really a lot of jump on their in their game, and what we've started to see, and it really carried over into the second game, is the defense really getting involved in the game, in the play. Only goal from the Isles in the first game was from Dobson, and then in the second game, in the blowout against the Ducks, 6 goals from the defense. 2 from Mayfield, 2 from Salo. I mean,
Mayfield had what, 3 all last year?
3 all last year and 2 this game. Now that's the funny thing, the way it happens. Sometimes guys just get goals, but hey, man, you step it up in the Jim jumping up into the play. Really, that always is a big deal for, I think, a lot of teams. And one of the things they talked about, the players talked from the Isles in the offseason, was that there's a certain way to play in the NHL that's winning right now. It's being very aggressive, and I think that really translates to getting your defense involved. And I mean, we've seen that year after year after year, and the best teams typically have a defense that can really jump in the play, be that extra guy coming in and get back on D, and do all the little things. But they're with the way the Isles are, players are talking about it and seeing it in action. I'm excited now, because it's like, one of the things that sucks watching the team is when they were sitting back so much, defensively, and that shell. Very rarely really defensemen jumping into the play, and this was very different, and that looked a little better, and it really paid off in the second game. Now, obviously 2 games in, but the team looks locked in already. They look ready to really push. Losing to Florida, that's supposed to be one of the best teams in the league, so I'm not really concerned about that. They really played really well with them the whole game. Blew out the team they need to blow out, the Ducks. Ducks getting blown out again tonight against the Rangers. They need to do that.
They'll rebound tomorrow. Now that I see they're getting crushed after already being crushed, they're going to score 6. The Ducks are scoring 6 tomorrow. Write it down.
Well, listen, they're good offense, man. They got some good kids, and they're just going to have those. They're very much like the Devils. They're a very similar team, I think, right now. They got the potential, but they got a long way to go.
This Kumquat kid, I like saying his name. He's on the Ducks. He's got a really good shot. I don't think that's his real name, but that's But it's what it sounded like Sam was saying all night was Kumquat.
Well, so next week we got San Jose and Jersey on Thursday, and then Tampa and Florida on the weekend. Saturday, Sunday back to back. So that's going to be a fun one. But we'll see how it goes. Are you guys talking about the next segment? Are you going to talk about your players as well for the surprises, or are you going to do that? Or no?
I don't know. If you have a just keep it. I'll save mine until that segment. How's that? All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Because otherwise it'll be kind of short. So let's do that.
Yep. No problem. Listen, the Rangers are a really fun team to watch, and they may be a little bit better than I was giving them credit for, at least early in the season. I know they haven't typically had really hot starts to the beginning of the season, but man, you beat a good team in Tampa on opening night on home ice, and then you back that up by really putting a hurting on Minnesota in their home opener, only to lose a back-to-back on a relatively close game in Winnipeg. Winnipeg scored a late one in the third period to really pull ahead, and then score on the empty net, and then do what you're supposed to do, which it seems like they are in taking care of Ducks as 6-4 right now. This team is fast. They're fast on the puck, and they got aggressive defense. And that's exactly what I have written down. It kind of amplifies what Nick says. The good teams have defense that joins the rush and really puts the pressure on you. And not only are they doing that with their defense, they're doing it with their team speed up. And that 1-2 punch of that Zibanejad line and now the Trocheck line, good luck. If you're trying to shut down one, the other one's going to score and have 4 points on you. So right now, early on, they got really, really good balance. Kako on the top line, going hard to the hard areas. He seems to have better balance this year. Steve, you talked about Jack Hughes in the first 2 years, him kind of getting pushed down and falling down a lot, almost looking like a newborn giraffe out on the ice. And Kako was like that too. But this year, it just seems like he seems more stronger on his skates, just like Hughes did. I think starting last year, Hughes started to get a little stronger on his skates. I think Kako is finally getting into that. The power play again this year is it's going to be a juggernaut for teams to try and defend. Panarin, early points leader, tied with Sidney Crosby. Not tied anymore after a 4-point night so far by Panarin. And look, he just makes people better on his line. And I know I gave them a little shit for not putting Trocheck and Panarin on the same line, and thought they were going to have a little trouble with their chemistry early on, but that doesn't seem to have happened. And I think it's really easy to play with Panarin, I think. And this Christ, they're a good face-off team. What the hell happened?
No. That was such a telling stat last year.
Of course it was. But Trocheck was a good face-off guy last year. So you're importing a guy who was already exponentially better than your second line center last year. Zibanejad got better over the offseason. And I got to tell you, young Philip Hedl, really good on draws so far this year. Game 1, they were 64% on draws, and they're shooting, and their shots on goal are astronomically more than what they had last year. So you look at those two stats, right? Winning face-off and shots on goal equal wins.
That's important for Hedl too, because this is a make or break year for him. I don't know if you know that.
It's just the third year in a row it's a make or break for young Philip Hedl. But listen, game 1, 64% on draws, 30 on goal. Game 2, they had 50% on draws and 35 shots on goal. And in game 3, they fell under the 50% mark for the first time. They had 49% on faceoffs and 41 shots on goal. You're generating a lot of offense by winning. And just shoot, baby. That's been the mantra all year. What's not working, you ask? Kravtsov.
And hey, Tom.
Yeah, buddy.
What's not working?
Listen, I'm glad you asked. Kravtsov, he got injured in that first game. Took from one of the defensemen on Tampa, and kind of looked like he got him in the neck, and he strained neck or something like that. But he's been out since the opening night, and I don't know. Fournier goes on the right side with Panarin and Trocheck and starts to produce. So this may be spelling the beginning of the end for Kravtsov yet again. So maybe in a deal because you can't send him down. He's on a one-way deal with the Rangers, so he would need waivers to go down to Hartford. They're just not going to put him on waivers. It's not going to happen. They're going to trade him before they put him on waivers. So this again, sometimes injuries are the catalysts for things to start to come together. And that was split up the kid line, putting Lafreniere on the right side of Panarin and Trocheck. So it seems like it's working for sure. Coming this week, you got the Ducks tonight, which seems like it's under a minute to go right now, 6-4. That seems like it's in the book with a win. Then you got San Jose on Thursday evening, and the Columbus Blue Jackets at a 5 p.m. start on Sunday. So that's what's upcoming for New York Rangers. Bill, Penguins unbeaten still. Did they beat Montreal tonight? Oh boy,
they're going into overtime as we
tied
speak.
It. Oh,
they did. But yeah, previous to tonight, the Penguins were undefeated. They had won each of their games by an identical score of 6-2. Starting against the hell do they play to start the season? Oh, the Arizona Coyotes. And then they beat the much tougher Tampa Bay Lightning by the same score, presumably much tougher Tampa Lightning. So couple of successful home games to start the season. The 6 goals in each of those games were scored by 6 different players. Until tonight, they didn't have anybody score multiple goals in the game. And tonight, in the game that is 2-2 going into overtime, Evgeny Malkin had both of the goals. So he leads the team in goal scoring now with 3. But yeah, everything came out clicking on all cylinders for the Penguins. The offense at even strength and the power play. Crosby started the season, I think 21st or 22nd on the all-time scoring list, and he's started to make his way up. He passed, well, in addition to passing Alexander Ovechkin, who's maybe on his way to passing Crosby again back tonight. He's because Ovechkin's having a big game tonight. He passed Dougie Gilmore, and now he's 5
Dougie Gilmore,
Adam Oates. Yep. So he's moving up the all-time list with as he had 6 points in the first 2 games. No points tonight in Montreal. Montreal's playing a really tough game, and they shut down the Crosby line so far, and now we're in 3-on-3 as we speak. So
that's Casey DeSmith in goal tonight, Bill.
Casey DeSmith, yes, did get the start. Played very well. Actually, Montreal's playing well, and DeSmith was really challenged, really kept him in the game for the first half of the game. He did kind of fall asleep on the first goal that the Canadiens scored. He thought he had the puck under him, I guess, and was just sitting there frozen, waiting for a whistle, and the puck was just sitting there for somebody to tap in. A couple feet to his left, I guess. But other than that one little mistake, he's made a lot of tough saves, so he deserves some credit for a good game tonight. And we'll see how it goes. So the other player that's really been performing well at the start of the season, Evgeny Malkin, and it's just like a reminder of, as much as I've complained about him, I do complain about him a lot. When he's healthy, when he's feeling it, he's still elite. It's a shame. It's a shame that I know that, probably in the near future, but certainly before the season ends, that he's going to get dinged up, and it really affects his game when he's not physically at 100%. He's mentally kind of loses it as well. But so far so good with Malkin having a really terrific first few games, and including the 2-goal game that he's had tonight. And over to the third line, the depth there, Kasperi Kapanen is playing really well too. So a guy who really struggled last season scoring. We knew he had really good chemistry with Jeff Carter, but he had good chemistry, but not confidence. And now he's so far, it looks really confident as well. So he scored in the last game, and he set up a really nice goal for Carter. So he's off to a hot start, using his speed. Really seems like he's got a good mind for offense this season all of a sudden. So hopefully they keep it going with all 3 of those lines. Then the things that are not working so far for the Penguins, the fourth line, when there's been a lot of pressure on the Penguins. It seems like the fourth line is the culprit quite a bit. P.O. Joseph is the culprit quite a bit as the third line defenseman that they've decided to go with. And so those guys need to pick up their game. However, I'm distracted now.
Is it the cricket that's sitting in your ear that's distracting you?
Oh no, I got my today I got my earbuds in and I don't even now I can hear the cricket. I guess the cricket wasn't out while it was raining.
Sounds like he's sitting on your microphone.
So the fourth line not playing real well, and they are the penalty killers. The penalty killing stinks. They've given up power play goals until every game until tonight, I think. But they might give up a power play goal tonight too because they're in overtime with a power play goal. Tom's holding up a finger, so I know that the Canadians won. And
I'm just saying they got a minute left on the Canadians power play. So
okay,
don't count your chickens yet, buddy.
I figured because I'm always behind on my feed. So Teddy Bluger though, close to returning. He's did the last Penguins practice in full contact.
There you have it.
Uniform or whatever. So Bluger should be back, and that should help the penalty kill. That should help the fourth line a bit, and we'll see what we can do from there. And the Canadians just won. There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, you can't take a penalty in overtime. You just can't do it. Although I didn't get to see, I didn't see the penalty. Like the last penalty they called on the Penguins in the third period was such an awful fucking call. It didn't end up costing them, but oh boy, it could have been the shitty call of the week if we.
But there's always next week.
Yeah, it was terrible. But I didn't see the penalty that they called in overtime to say whether it was legit or not. But oh well. OT lost. They got a point tonight.
What's that like? Games. That's weird. What's that like? That must be fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, good for you. Go for it, Steve.
All right, early season surprises. Oh wait, no, Bill, I'm jumping in here. What do you got this week? I'm sorry, bud.
Oh, I know they got. I know they have some back to back.
You want me to do it for you?
The week after next, but yeah, go ahead.
They got the LA Kings on Thursday, the upstart LA Kings, and the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday evening on the road.
Yep.
And that starts their West Coast swing.
Yeah, and then they go back to back. Starting Monday, they go back to back Edmonton and Calgary. Those are not.
LA is at their LA is at home though, right?
LA is in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Okay.
LA. And yeah, every time they go to Edmonton, they get their ass handed to them. They get McDavid and Draisaitl combined for like 6 goals every time they play them. So
good. We'll look forward to that next Monday.
Can't wait.
All right, sweet.
Can't wait.
All right, so early season surprises. Nick, who you got? You can do multiple if you want to.
I'm gonna do just.
You can do players, teams, whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. So I got from the Isles, just 2 guys. Just want to call out real surprises. Alexander Romanov, he has 12 blocks through 2 games. He's been a machine out there, just eating up shots and been really responsible. And I think that's a big help. Obviously, eating up those minutes, and hopefully he can last all season. And he looks for big hits, and he's a physical guy. And hey, man, they signed him to play alongside Dobson for the next, bunch of years, and looking good so far out of the gate. Which I'm just surprised at how quick he's really taken to the team. And then Robin Salo, 2 goals in 2 games. Granted 2 in the same game, but that was a very nice surprise. Him taking the shot, he taken the position from Sebastian Aho as the 6-7 guys. I think he's kind of locked it up. I think he's the guy. And so nice surprise to see him really have a really good start. But like that, the league, seeing, like I said earlier, Columbus and San Jose combined 0-7. That's pretty wild. And then the Flyers at 2-0.
Fuck the Flyers.
Fuck the Flyers.
Yeah. I also wrote Vegas at 3-0, which they're a good team. I'm surprised they had a good start so far, and they're
I
They're
have
doing good,
Vegas
but-
as my team that I'm a little
Yeah.
surprised with. I really thought, well, the goaltending woes and
Right.
having Phil Kessel on your team really was gonna be something that that was a deterrent, not a help. Although I don't know how many points he has, but Vegas for sure, and Columbus on the flip side of that haven't won a game yet. I thought they were gonna be a little bit better than that. And look, it's really fucking early, really early. But another player surprise for me, Mika Zibanejad. He notorious for starting. Jesus, he could score 60 this year if he fucking keeps his pace up. I know he'll score more, Bill. But he's notorious for having a slow start, and he really picks it up later in the season. But having a hot start, and if you can continue that all season, watch out for Mika Zibanejad this year. And Chris Kreider can't fucking buy a goal. I know he had a couple in Minnesota, but
what? So how's that not being able to buy a goal?
Well, but you should
tonight. He wasn't able to buy a goal tonight.
In the other 3 games, he has had ample opportunities to put the puck in the net, and you just getting robbed by goaltenders, and they're just playing him better. And listen, you're not going to have a season where you score 20 back to back, so you're going to get a little you're going to get stoned a little bit more this year than you were last year, and you're not going to get as lucky as you got last year. So
I have 2. I've got a surprise player on my team, John Marino. Really good player. You know, I obviously didn't really watch him that close when he was out in Pittsburgh, but just very positionally sound. He takes care of players in his own end, and he gets the puck out of the zone efficiently.
He's fundamentally sound.
He is a he should be playing on the Winnipeg Jets. Without a doubt.
Calgary Flames.
Calgary Flames, right.
Yeah.
The Calgary Flames.
Well, he could be this year's Calgary Flames.
He could be.
Just a fundamentally sound hockey player.
I thought you were going to be surprised that he went to Harvard. Did you know he went to Harvard?
He went to Harvard?
They only say it every time. And then the other surprise is the Devils goaltending, and that's obviously to the bad side. It's just further proof that preseason is useless and means nothing, because they were very good in the preseason and they have been very bad in the regular season.
And my surprises for the season, the team that surprised me is the Flyers. Fuck the Flyers.
Fuck them again. Again, they played the Devils one game, so you know.
No, that's true, but you know, then I remembered, you know, teams do tend to get off to a good start when Tortorella's their new coach before
right. That act wears thin, right?
Yeah, exactly. When his act wears thin, when they get tired of his fucking nonsense, they always fade into oblivion. So I'm glad that's the future for the Flyers. Fuck them. But right now they're all happy, and all of Philadelphia is happy because the Phillies are going to win the World Series, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, and the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. So,
and the Sixers are poised to have a great season with James Harden, who will quit on them after 30 games.
Exactly. Then my surprises on the Penguins. You know, I like I mentioned before, Kapanen, he's always been physically a good, has had a good presence and been a solid player, but just his mind being in the game on the offensive side, his confidence looking good so far. I'm really hoping that's something that's going to continue for him. So I mean, that it'd be huge for the Penguins if they have a third line that could be productive. Then my last surprise is Casey DeSmith, who you know lost the game tonight, but made a lot of strong saves, played really well. Last season, you may remember me complaining about him bitterly until the new year. Every time he got in a game, the Penguins he did not keep the Penguins in the game. And Coach Sullivan last season did put some of the blame on himself for his use of DeSmith. He was leaning on Jari so much early in the season, and I wonder if that's why he got a start in Game 3 when you know they they have off nights that, they really didn't need. They don't have a back-to-back coming up. It was early. I thought it was early to see DeSmith play, and they lost tonight, but I wouldn't put that on him. So hopefully, our backup goalie gets in the swing of things early and stays there. It's my surprises.
And now it's time for Trivia with Bill. Ugh.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
All right. This is a question about all of our favorite players, especially Devils fans' favorite player. Okay, this question. Wayne Gretzky holds the NHL record for most goals scored in a single season.
Mhm.
How many goals did he score to set the record?
It's very easy to answer this one because it's the year I graduated high school, 93 goals.
That is incorrect. I know you did graduate in 93. I did also, even though you're older than I am, I graduated.
It's 3 fucking weeks, man. It's only 3 weeks.
I'm going to say
that cricket's going to live longer than the difference in our age.
I'm going to say 894.
894. That's
Boom.
I think that's his career goal total. Now we're looking for
Thought
the
it was
total in his
792.
record-breaking season.
Obviously, it's 99, guys.
He's
For
They
his
retired
jersey
the number of goals.
Oh,
Yes.
shit, Nick.
No, that was his
That's
number.
why he wore 99.
No, wait,
no.
We had this fucking. Don't you remember last week? It's 1,000 goals. Gretzky has 1,000 goals. We know this. We learned
That's
this
right.
last week.
I thought
That
it was
is not a single season total.
I thought it was the Blackhawks, the Red Wings, the Rangers, the Canadians,
And
the original
Seals.
7.
Wait a
The
minute.
original 7, yeah, the Seals, yes.
The original 7.
You're starting. Why are you naming teams? We're looking for no. The answer is going to be numerical.
number of goals, right? Number of goals.
Numerical. And there was originally
7.
6. There wasn't 7 original teams. There was
He
Then,
wore-
then we're gonna say 7 then. 7 goals.
Yeah.
No, 7 goals. You know for a fact that I got a text from you that Chris Kreider's a fucking monster every time he scored a goal last season. You know you sent more than 7 texts. It can't be the record.
He is
50
a
and
monster.
50 and 39.
Oh, yeah, that was a good year.
That was the record for goals through 39 games. That's the fastest anybody scored 50 goals. That is not a single season
I think you could
total
be wrong.
goal record.
I think you could be wrong.
I am not wrong. I assure you this is not correct.
Brent Gretzky.
You're not what you naming his brother now? Why? I again,
I don't know. It just
The answer's
seems
a
like
number.
every time there's a Wayne Gretzky trivia question, Brent Gretzky is the answer.
I did not ask who the most prolific goal scoring brothers were of all time, because then he could have said Brent Gretzky and Wayne Gretzky, but no, that's not what I asked.
Okay.
What about Mike and Bob Gartner? Jesus Christ.
Who the
What about
hell's
Phil
Bob
and Tony
Gartner?
Esposito, for crying out loud? Don't forget them.
Holy hell.
Tony
They were
Esposito
brothers.
was a goalie.
They were brothers. They played
Er-
hockey.
Eric and Mark
Jesus,
Stahl.
Bill. Eric and Brett Lindros. How about them?
All right, look, that
They were
wasn't
very
actually the
prolific.
question. We're getting away from what the actual question was. So
What was the question
it's-
again?
It's what
What
was
about the
Wayne
Ferraro
Gretzky-
brothers? Jesus
I know it
Christ,
is.
Bill.
He did it in 1992.
Oh, did he?
No.
No.
Is
Again,
it 91 goals?
no, it's not. It's you're so close. You had
No,
91.
90
Yes,
goals,
he had
89,
93.
88, 87, 86,
He
85.
did it. No. He did it on September 2nd. That's when he broke the record, right?
I think that's
with,
right.
with 88 goals.
You mean on 9/2, the date 9/2?
How would he have 88 goals on September 2nd? The season didn't even start yet. Even I know that.
That's how good he was.
Jesus.
You score 1,000 goals in a season, you're gonna have
You got to
88
start
goals by
gotta start
September
early.
2nd.
You
If
gotta
the
start
season
early.
had ended on that day, everybody would be like, "Why did the season
Why
end?
did
We
the
didn't
season-
even start it."
I love that. Still love that joke.
I think this answer is actually really simple. It's 9 squared, so 81 goals. Gotta be right.
Oh, 9 and
Yeah,
9
math.
squared.
Holy math.
No.
While Bill probably appreciates.
Well,
your
actually,
thought
I do know that he did score this goal with 1 minute and 32 seconds left on the
92
clock in the
seconds left
period.
on the clock, huh?
You know what else I know?
It's cute.
He scored
Cute.
this goal the day of the Edison Woods explosion.
What?
Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
No, because it didn't happen. That was 790. That was 792, if I'm not mistaken.
It couldn't have been in what, July of 92, you're saying?
No, the Edison Woods explosion?
Yeah.
That was during the season. That was the night he scored
Yeah.
792.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Graves and Leach assisted on the goal, right? He was
On the
Rangers.
record-setting goal?
Yeah, Graves and Leach assisted.
Sure. I guess.
I don't think so.
Do you have a number?
Yeah, Graves was number 9, Leach was number 2.
I'm going to accept that. 92. 92 is a fucking answer.
We were
Let's just
so
accept that.
close.
Oh my God! How do
Holy
we
cow,
not
I
get
was-
that?
I was all around it.
Oh my
That's
God! How do we not get
bonkers.
that?
Well, good job, Tom. Your victory leads us into 20 questions to the power play. Do we even have a name for this?
It's still impressions with Nick because he's still he's still impersonating a game show host.
And now it's time for impressions with Nick.
Fucking great. Ladies and gentlemen of the Friends and Rivals podcast, get ready for the fastest 2 minutes of this tight 45 show. It's 20 questions power play. The rules are simple. This is 2 minutes to guess a famous player, coach, front office, or any famous person associated to one of the 4 Friends and Rivals favorite teams. The group can ask up to 20 questions, rapid fire, while our host, Nick, likely fails horribly in answering and keeping track of all the questions asked. Answers can only come in the form of a yes or no. The group will have to make a final guess once they hit 20 questions. The power play is expired. If the group is successful, they win for the week and avoid shame for unable to win at a children's game. And away we go.
Hey, Richard Dawson.
See what happens when you
Like
like
your
your show
podium
prep.
until it's time
Richard
to play
Dawson
the
from
feud.
Long Island.
Yeah, when you run through this a couple of times, you get the feeling on how it goes.
All right.
Whenever you're ready.
Do we just start your questions? Okay.
Well, we got to wait for the time to start. Is
It
this
started.
player associated with the Devils?
Yes.
Oh,
This is John McClane.
No.
No.
is this a current New Jersey Devil?
No.
Is this a former New Jersey Devil general manager?
No.
Was
he
he a
still
goaltender?
Is he still a current player?
Not a goaltender, so no.
He's not.
Not a
We
current
already
player.
know he's not a current player, Bill.
No, we knew he wasn't a current Devil. We didn't know he wasn't a current player.
Was this guy on the 1995 Stanley Cup champion team?
Yes.
Was it Claude Lemieux?
No.
A manager of an
forward?
NHL team right now?
No.
Was he a forward?
He was a forward. Yes.
Is it Bobby Holik?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, Steve.
55 seconds left on the
From the
clock.
blue
Nice.
line, baby.
Bobby Holik. Wowzers.
Interesting
Bobby
Bobby Holik
Holik.
story. Interesting Bobby Holik story. We back in the day used to go up to South Mountain Arena and stalk the players to get autographs and stuff because we were kids and we had days off and we had nothing better to do and we would go up there. Bobby Holik drove the most ratty, I can only describe it as painter's van you would have ever seen in your life. You know, the kind of van, no windows on the side, just serial killer van. That's what it looked like.
Like, could you help me with this couch?
Yes,
man?
that
Wow.
kind of van. Bob, that
It's a
was what
shaggin'
Bobby
wagon.
Holik drove to practice.
That's the story.
That's the story.
Okay, terrific.
Did you like it?
Tom's stalking story is better.
Yes, at least mine are in Walmart. Jesus Christ.
I'm thinking the one with Theo Fleury, actually.
We found him getting drugs at the drugstore.
Drove him right back to the bottle.
We got his autograph. Didn't we get his autograph? Like his prescription painkillers.
Yeah, prescription.
You might have. I wasn't gonna ask somebody for an autograph in a pharmacy. It's not my style.
Would you get it on a box of tampons?
Nah, it was a bottle of Advil. Yeah, how much would that be worth? Anything?
No,
Probably not, right?
No.
Damn it.
he did wear those cold Nike gloves though. He did have good gloves.
All right, let's go this date in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola, Coke. I don't know, zero sugar, Coke zero sugar.
Jesus Christ.
Is that what we're doing?
Zero
Coke
sugar.
zero
This
sugar.
is why the check. This is why they haven't sent us a check yet.
What they sent me a year supply of Coke Zero.
Why would it go to
Zero
you?
sugar.
You fuck it up every week. Why would they send it to you?
I'm the host. What do you think it would come to me?
Jesus.
Jesus.
It's Coke Zero Sugar.
That's what I said.
Okay.
It's
What
a
date?
traps.
Round here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
Go to March 19th, 2018.
March 19th, 2018 was a Monday. Coke Zero 20 ounce and a granola bar for breakfast. Chicken Caesar salad from Mia More Deli, and a diet soda 20 ounce was lunch. And dinner was pizza and garlic bread.
From where?
Nancy's Townhouse Tavern in Rahway.
Wow.
We went out to a friend's house for dinner, and we got dinner there.
Losers.
Why did you pick Monday, March 19th in the year 2018?
This is a two-parter this evening.
I'm sure the listeners cannot wait.
Two-parter. So last week, two strangers aboard an 11-hour Virgin Atlantic flight from London to Cancun were caught in a rather compromising position. The cabin crews opened the bathroom door to discover a man with his pants down and a woman sitting on the toilet. Before getting on the plane, the two passengers, both in their late 20s, were complete strangers. But shortly after takeoff, they struck up a conversation across the aisle, and it wasn't long before they were making out. Minutes later, she disappeared into the toilet, and he followed her in. A fellow passenger told the newspaper. It was so obvious. Everyone knew what was happening. So loud and rowdy. Cabin crews took notice and began pounding on the bathroom door. One flight attendant said, "Would you jeopardize your holiday for a blowjob?" And the man said, "Yes." I don't know if he said that, but that's what I would have said. The man tried to argue that the woman was ill and he was in the bathroom to lend a helping hand. They were not even traveling together. So the passengers told the newspaper that the woman was drunk, obviously, when she showed up to the flight at 12:30 p.m. at a girl. When she returned from her seat from the bathroom, her disruptive behavior continued, and the woman got into a fight with her friend and traveling companion. She was arrested in Mexico.
Ooh, arrested in Mexico?
Yeah, and they were going to. Yeah, didn't you hear that? So now, here's the second part of the story.
Hardly seems like it was Tom Worthy.
Well,
so
we're going to say apart.
Now we need the punchline.
Now this is a story about correctly have sex on an airplane, according to flight attendants. So you might want to pay attention to this because the flight attendants know best. So start taking notes, guys.
It's got to be in the bathroom, right? Where else could it be?
So we're gonna give you there are gonna be three different flights that we're gonna talk about. One is your standard domestic flight, standard issue. Step one, start an argument. Like maybe one of you is bogarting the sky. Oh, that's really stupid. But start an argument and
Reread the
just-
article, but
just-
pre-read
well,
the article
no,
before you
because-
start the segment. Is that
No, because I was gonna. They make really stupid jokes. Like maybe one of you is bogarting, right? Bogarting. Who says fucking bogarting anymore? The Sky Mall, and then you have Sky Mall on the.
and
on
anybody
airplanes
who's
anymore.
ever written for National Lampoons?
Or won't shut off the reruns of Good Morning LA.
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 Sure, there's a 97% chance someone will live tweet it. But they don't know your real names.
This is not a good article, is it?
It's pretty cheesy. It forces one person to get up and leave, and the other person will go and find you in the bathroom, and then you can have sex while you scream at each other while in the bathroom. That's what this flight attendant says.
Okay. I mean, I get the
Okay.
premise.
Yeah. So flight number 2 is a domestic red eye. Red eye. If you don't know what a
Domestic
red
brown
eye
eye,
is,
not a brown eye.
it is an overnight flight. Overnight. Typically going from the West Coast to the East Coast. So you want to book a red eye flight according to our FAs. Flight really gives a fuck on those flights. So if you think about it, you're almost halfway there if you haven't boarded yet. Select the aisle and a window seat in the same row. That is key. So no one sits in the middle seat. Ideally on a flight that doesn't typically sell out, since people rarely choose middle seats. If everything works out, you should have the whole row to yourself. Wait until the meal service has ended in first class and the cabin lights go out. Watch the lights in the front of the plane. Once they go out too, that's your cue. Snuggle up under the blanket that you brought in your carry-on bag. No one needs to be playing the STD blame when the real culprit is the airplane. The seats are so cramped that you wouldn't believe this ridiculous position people sleep in. So the passengers would conceivably do a reverse cowgirl or other positions that look like they were really sleeping. Do it underneath the blanket, but remember, be quiet. People are sleeping and watching Eat, Pray, Love right next to you.
I gotta disagree with the last one.
And the last one is on an international red eye. Now, if you're traveling anywhere overseas on vacation for business to catch an international art thief, oh God,
Oh Lord,
this
who the
article
fuck wrote this shit?
That's the next game we're gonna play. We're gonna guess, where did this article come from?
Whatever. Make it an overnight flight, since most bigger planes that fly international routes don't allow for two people in a don't allow for two people in 3 seats. What does that mean? What would the section and pairs of double seats on each side? Okay. The in-seat option is less likely to work. Request a seat in coach near the mid-cabin restrooms. Wait until the flight attendants start taking their break. This is after their first real meal service. Again, the cabin lights going out in the front of the plane is your cue. Wait for a lull in the business at the mid-cabin restrooms. After people start falling asleep. This typically happens around 3 to 4 hours in the flight. Once again, no one cares as much on these flights. So as soon as you see the restrooms are empty, make your move and snag one. Have a long, meaningful discussion about your future as a couple in the airplane bathroom. Or bang each other's brains out. Your call. So those are the three different flights you can take, and that's exactly from the flight attendants telling you exactly how to have sex on an airplane and join the Mile High Club.
When you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
The fourth option is just hand out this article to everybody. They will all pass out immediately, and you can do whatever the hell you want.
They will all go right to sleep. I have the fifth option. It's a flight from Seattle to Arizona.
Oh.
because apparently you could finish 4 times on that flight, even after taking an hour nap.
The stamina on those people. Wowzers.
So I'm going to guess that this article came from Esquire.com.
My guess, I was actually going to say that it was on the bottom of a Snapple cap.
Cosmo.
That's a really small letter, Bill. I don't think they could put this on the bottom of a cap.
Gotta be a Cosmo article.
It is not. It's from a site called the Thrillist.com.
Thrillist. It's the Cosmo of the internet.
Yeah, it really is.
Is that right?
Yeah. Just fucking. I mean, you should have done us all a favor and read it first and kind of taken all that shit out of it.
What shit? This was good information. What are you talking about? How to have sex on an airplane. Now you do, and that's why you listen to this show. Huh?
Oh, really? I gotta lose like 60 pounds to pull any of that off, though. Still, I mean.
No, I think you can pull off that middle one or the international flight. The bathrooms are bigger. You'd be fine.
I can't have sex with myself in one of those bathrooms. Are you kidding?
Wait, have you tried?
Yeah, don't you remember when he showed up with that blue water all over himself?
Not a good lubricant, as it turns out.
Did you recently go on a flight from Seattle to Arizona? Was that you? Oh my God.
You really brought the show to a fucking screeching halt, man.
Yeah.
I
wasn't me this time.
Listen, I thought I would take a different direction this week. Apparently I was wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're not all home runs.
Oh,
and listen, in some cases they're strikeouts.
We are going back to just the scum of the earth next week for sure.
I think that's what the people want.
Well, listen, they want sex with Olaf. That's what they want.
That's what they want.
That's what they want.
And that's what you shall
or
give
inflatable
them.
toys.
That or yes. Listen, what do you think is worse? Going into a Target and banging an Olaf, or going next to your next door neighbors and banging a pool float?
No, the Olaf is by far worse.
Yeah, you can't go into a Target and start banging the stuffed animals.
No.
What?
I mean, at least you have some chance of privacy if you sneak into your neighbor's house and there's a raft there that's really
true.
turning
the
you on.
Pool float.
Raft shouldn't fucking
love.
dress like that if it doesn't want it anyway. That's what I say.
The pool float is true love. The Olaf is just a one-night stand.
All right. Well, listen, that's good to know, especially from Steve.
Are you gonna fucking turn it on me? Your fucking shitty stories. You're gonna now try and turn it on me? I don't think so, pal.
No, that was abysmal. Yep. All right, that's definitely going to do it for us. I'm getting out of here right now. Nobody left us a review, of course. Of course.
Now.
No. Well, maybe you never know. All right, don't forget to follow us on the Twitter at friends_rivals, on the Facebook Friends and Rivals podcast, YouTube Friends and Rivals. Click, comment, and share. We actually had 4 views of our YouTube video last week.
Wow.
4. I was shocked.
That means absolutely at least shocked. 2 people watched it, because we know Tom watched it 3 times.
No. I caught the end, so I think I was the 5th. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We will read them on the air if you do want us to. Turn on notifications for our podcast so you never miss an episode of the Friends and Rivals podcast. Say something, Woody.
How's that taste with Tom, Nick, Steve, and Bill coming down your throat?
It's Collinsworth.
Hey, you should let him do the heavy lifting. This is not impressions with Bill.
Oh, sorry.
All right,
I just admire him so much.
Yeah, sing us out.
Oh, my friends and rivals, flyers fuck, fly